ASMR History channel. I'm Sophie, and today we embark on a soothing journey back to the ancient world to explore the captivating life of one of history's most enigmatic and powerful figures, Cleopatra. As you settle in, let the gentle whispers guide you through her remarkable story, from her royal lineage and rise to power, to the dramatic events that defined her reign. So, find a comfortable place, close your eyes if you wish, and let the whispers of history lull you into a state of relaxation and wonder. Cleopatra II, an influential figure within the renowned Ptolemaic dynasty, exemplified a unique blend of political acumen and intellectual prowess, attributes that were deeply ingrained in her upbringing and education within the vibrant intellectual hub of ancient Alexandria. Born in the year 69 BC, she was the recipient of a rich heritage passed down from her illustrious ancestors, notably Ptolemy XIII, whose military genius and strategic foresight were instrumental in establishing the Ptolemaic kingdom in Egypt. Central to Cleopatra II's upbringing was a rigorous education that likely encompassed a wide array of subjects, guided by the intellectual luminaries of Alexandria's museum and library, such as the esteemed scholar Philostratus. Immersed in this scholarly environment, Cleopatra II not only refined her skills in rhetoric, but also delved deep into the realms of philosophy, thus laying a robust intellectual foundation that would prove invaluable in navigating the intricate political landscape of her era. The period of Cleopatra II's rule was marked by a complex interplay of alliances and rivalries between Egypt and Rome, adding further layers of challenge to her governance. As Rome's imperial ambitions began to encroach upon Egypt, the fragile equilibrium of power between the Ptolemaic dynasty and the Roman Republic faced escalating threats. The political legacy left by Cleopatra II's predecessors, most notably her father Ptolemy XIII, who deftly cultivated relationships with influential Roman figures such as Pompey and Julius Caesar, underscored the high-stakes nature of the political arena in which she assumed the throne. In essence, Cleopatra II's reign was characterized by a delicate dance of diplomacy and strategic maneuvering, as she sought to safeguard Egypt's autonomy amidst the growing shadow of Roman dominance. Her adept handling of these complex geopolitical dynamics, informed by her multifaceted education and intellectual pursuits, stands as a testament to her remarkable leadership in a time of great uncertainty and volatility. Through her actions and decisions, Cleopatra II not only upheld the legacy of her esteemed ancestors, but also left an indelible mark on the annals of history as a formidable ruler and a patron of intellectual pursuits. During Ptolemy XIII's tumultuous reign, characterized by financial entanglements and shifting allegiances, Cleopatra II found herself at the center of a complex web of political intrigue and external pressures. The Roman annexation of Cyprus in 58 BC added another layer of complexity to the already precarious situation, as it not only highlighted Egypt's vulnerability to Roman imperialism, but also further destabilized the Ptolemaic dynasty. The sudden death of Ptolemy XIII's brother, the ruler of Cyprus, not only plunged the dynasty into mourning, but also dealt a severe blow to its reputation both at home and abroad. As Ptolemy XIV faced exile for his perceived mishandling of the crisis, Cleopatra II was thrust into a position of leadership, tasked with steering Egypt through turbulent times. Her ascension to a prominent role in Egyptian politics was not only a testament to her political acumen, but also a reflection of her resilience in the face of adversity. Navigating the treacherous waters of dynastic politics and external threats, demonstrated her ability to adapt and strategize effectively, laying the foundation for her enduring legacy as one of ancient Egypt's most fascinating historical figures. Meanwhile, Baroness IV, a key player in the unfolding drama, meticulously planned his return to power. While in exile in Rome, he closely observed Ptolemy XII's actions and sought support from Roman military and financial backers. Taking refuge in the temple of Emus at Ephesus, Baroness IV bided his time before orchestrating a bold incursion into Egypt in 55 BC with the assistance of the Roman governor of Syria, Alexandria. This daring move not only underscored the high-stakes nature of power struggles within the Ptolemaic dynasty, but also set the stage for further political upheaval and intrigue in the region. Mark Antony, a dynamic and talented individual, emerged as a key player during the campaign that ultimately led to the restoration of Ptolemy XII to the Egyptian throne. His strategic decisions and leadership skills played a crucial role in the success of the endeavour. This period of political upheaval also saw the entry of a 14-year-old Cleopatra into the Roman expedition, a move that marked the initiation of her engagement in Roman military and political matters. As Ptolemy XII's reign progressed, the influence of Rome in Egypt expanded significantly, gradually eclipsing his own authority. To manage the kingdom's finances, Ptolemy appointed Gasroberius Potimus, a Roman financial expert, as the chief overseer, further deepening the ties between Egypt and Rome. The presence of a Roman garrison in Alexandria, wielding considerable power over the city, underscored the growing Roman influence in the region. Upon his return to power, Ptolemy implemented drastic measures to consolidate his rule, including the harsh execution of his own daughter, Baroness IV, in a bid to eliminate potential threats to his authority. The untimely death of Ptolemy in 51 BC complicated the issue of succession in Egypt, with his will designating his children Cleopatra and Ptolemy XIII as joint rulers under the guardianship of Roman authorities. The young age of the siblings, coupled with the substantial debts left by their father, presented formidable obstacles to their governance. Cleopatra and Ptolemy XIII faced a turbulent beginning to their shared rule, grappling with internal conflicts and the daunting task of managing the kingdom's financial obligations. Despite these challenges, Cleopatra's formal appointment as co-regent marked a significant milestone in her journey toward becoming one of Egypt's most renowned pharaohs. Her resilience and political acumen would eventually shape her legacy as a powerful and iconic figure in Egyptian history. Upon her ascension to the throne in 51 BC, Cleopatra faced a myriad of challenges that tested her leadership abilities. One of the most pressing issues she dealt with was the significant debts owed to Rome, which put a strain on Egypt's resources and political autonomy. The kingdom was also grappling with a severe famine, further exacerbating the already precarious situation. In addition to these external pressures, Cleopatra had to contend with internal strife, particularly from the Gabiniani, a group of former Roman soldiers tasked with maintaining Egypt's security. Their unruly behaviour and violent actions, such as the brutal killing of the sons of the Syrian proconsul Marcus Galerius Bialos, posed a serious threat to Cleopatra's authority and the stability of the kingdom. As Cleopatra sought to consolidate her power, she began to distance herself from her co-ruler, Ptolemy XIII, eventually asserting her sole rule over Egypt. However, the political landscape remained volatile, with Ptolemy XIII regaining control with the help of his advisor, Pothos, and factional support, leading to continued power struggles within the Egyptian court. Amidst the political intrigues of 50 BC, Cleopatra made a strategic move by forming a temporary alliance with her sibling Ptolemy XIV, adding another layer of complexity to the already turbulent situation in Egypt. The shifting allegiances and loyalties within the royal family and the court, including figures like Aulus, Theodotus, and other officials, further added to the uncertainty surrounding Cleopatra's reign. The entry of Gnaeus Pompus, son of Pompey the Great, seeking Cleopatra and Ptolemy XIII's support in the Roman civil war against Julius Caesar, added a new dimension to the political landscape. Despite their efforts to assist Pompey by providing ships and troops, the conflict escalated, forcing Cleopatra to take drastic action by making a daring escape from Alexandria to Thebes to ensure her survival and protect her interests in the midst of the chaos. Overall, Cleopatra's early years on the throne were marked by a delicate balancing act as she navigated the complex web of political alliances, internal rivalries, and external threats that threatened to undermine her authority and the stability of Egypt. Following her journey to Roman Syria in early 48 BC to gather support for reclaiming her throne, Cleopatra encountered fierce opposition from her brother's forces upon her return. This pushed her to establish a makeshift camp near Pelion as she strategized her next move. Concurrently, the Roman civil war escalated, culminating in the decisive Battle of Varus in August 48 BC, where Julius Caesar emerged victorious over Pompey. In a desperate bid for safety, Pompey fled to Egypt, counting on past alliances to secure refuge. However, his hopes were dashed when Theodotus, under the influence of Egyptian ruler Ptolemy XIII's government, turned him away, fearing getting embroiled in Rome's internal conflicts. Pompey's tragic arrival in Egypt ended in his brutal assassination, a ruthless act orchestrated to appease Caesar, who was appalled by the display of Pompey's severed head upon his own arrival in Alexandria. This gruesome gesture went against the established customs of Rome, further complicating the already tense situation in Egypt. Seeking to restore order and stability, Caesar summoned both Ptolemy XIII and Cleopatra to negotiate peace and end the internal strife within the Egyptian ruling family. This pivotal moment marked a significant turning point in Cleopatra's destiny, as her connections with Rome and its prominent leaders deepened. Despite Caesar's explicit instructions for Ptolemy to disband his forces before entering Alexandria, Ptolemy defiantly marched into the city with his army. Recognizing Caesar's respect for strong and influential women, Cleopatra made a calculated decision to personally engage with him rather than sending proxies. Historical records suggest that Cleopatra's exceptional intellect, magnetic charisma, and captivating attire left a profound and enduring impression on Caesar, setting the stage for their legendary alliance and shaping the course of history. According to various historical accounts, Cleopatra's entrance into the palace was shrouded in secrecy and intrigue. One narrative suggests that she clandestinely made her way into the palace by concealing herself in a bedsack, evading the watchful eyes of her brother and other potential spies. This daring move highlights Cleopatra's resourcefulness and determination to secure her position of power. Alternatively, some sources describe a different scenario where Cleopatra's arrival at the palace was orchestrated through a series of covert maneuvers, underscoring the political complexities and power struggles at play during that time. Regardless of the specific details of her arrival, Cleopatra's fateful meeting with Julius Caesar marked a turning point in her life. The encounter not only captivated Caesar, but also had a profound impact on the political the citizens, prompting him to address the growing discontent and assert his authority. Utilising his exceptional oratory skills, Caesar managed to quell the brewing turmoil and restore a semblance of order in the city. In a strategic move to solidify Cleopatra's claim to the throne, Caesar publicly revealed the long-concealed will of Cleopatra's father, Ptolemy XII. The will officially designated Cleopatra and her brother, Ptolemy XIII, as joint rulers of Egypt, paving the way for Cleopatra to ascend to power. However, tensions simmered beneath the surface as Caesar's decision to grant control of Cyprus to their younger siblings, Arsinoe IV and Ptolemy XIV, was perceived as favouritism towards Cleopatra. This perceived bias ignited a power struggle between Cleopatra and Ptolemy XIII, who harboured ambitions of his own and commanded a formidable army. Exploiting the growing discord within the royal siblings, Ptolemy XIII's advisor, Pothinus, orchestrated a treacherous military assault against Caesar and Cleopatra. In a swift and decisive move, Cleopatra responded by eliminating the threat posed by Pothinus, showcasing her ability to navigate treacherous political waters. Meanwhile, Arsinoe IV, seeking to advance her own agenda, aligned herself with Achilles, only to betray him later by orchestrating his assassination and installing her own advisor, Ganymedes, in a position of power. The intricate web of alliances, betrayals, and power struggles within the royal family escalated the conflict, culminating in Arsinoe IV being declared queen, further complicating the already volatile political landscape of Alexandria. Cleopatra's journey to the throne was fraught with challenges and dangers, but her resilience and strategic acumen ultimately paved the way for her to emerge as one of the most legendary figures in history. Ganymedes, a skilled strategist, demonstrated his cunning by orchestrating a series of events that led to a shift in power dynamics in Egypt. He manipulated Caesar into inviting Ptolemy III for negotiations, ultimately swaying the young king to switch his allegiance to Arsinoe, causing Caesar and Cleopatra to be besieged within the palace for an extended period until 47 BC. This prolonged siege tested the resilience and resourcefulness of Caesar and Cleopatra as they navigated the volatile political landscape. Following the death of Ptolemy XIII and Cleopatra's emergence as the sole ruler of Egypt, Caesar's reinforcements arrived, significantly bolstering Cleopatra's position and turning the tide in her favour. The demise of Ptolemy XIII, who tragically perished while attempting to escape on a boat that capsized in the Nile, marked a pivotal moment in the power struggle within the Egyptian royal family. In the midst of the chaos, Ganymedes, the strategic mastermind aligned with Arsinoe, likely met his end in the conflicts, showcasing the high stakes and risks involved in playing such a dangerous game. Theodotus, another key player, was captured and subsequently executed by Marcus Junius Brutus, underscoring the brutal and unforgiving nature of the power struggles unfolding in Egypt. Arsinoe IV, after being paraded in Caesar's Roman triumph, faced exile to the Temple of Artemis in Ephesus, highlighting the harsh consequences of political defeat during this tumultuous period. Meanwhile, Cleopatra's absence from the front lines of conflict, possibly due to her pregnancy with Caesar's child, Caesarion, born from their union in September 48 BC, added a layer of complexity to the unfolding drama. As Julius Caesar completed his consul term in 48 BC and was granted the title of dictator, the Senate entrusted him with the authority to mediate the disputes within the Egyptian royal family. In the context of the time, the title of dictator did not carry the negative connotations it does today, but rather symbolised the supreme power to make critical decisions for the welfare of the state. The Senate's recognition of the urgency to address the crisis led them to bestow significant authority upon a charismatic leader, highlighting the delicate balance between power and responsibility. While Julius Caesar initially wielded his authority prudently to navigate the intricate political landscape of Egypt, history serves as a cautionary tale of how power can corrupt even the most well-intentioned individuals over time. The events in Egypt during this period underscore the complexities of leadership, the fragility of alliances, and the enduring impact of political manoeuvring on the course of history. An illustrative demonstration of this intricate interplay can be observed in the captivating relationship between Cleopatra and Caesar, two illustrious historical figures who embarked on a sumptuous voyage along the majestic Nile River, symbolising not only their extravagant lifestyles, but also their mutual enchantment with ancient wonders. The detailed narrative provided by Suetonius regarding their extravagant journey, although potentially embellished to accentuate the opulence and grandeur of Roman nobility, offers valuable insights into Caesar's calculated interests in Egypt and its geographical significance. Upon Caesar's departure to confront Pharnaces II of Pontus, he strategically left a formidable military contingent in Egypt to provide assistance to Cleopatra. This move proved crucial as Cleopatra later bore their son, Caesarion, a bold testament to Caesar's acknowledgement of paternity amidst the intricate political web spun by his existing marriage to Calpurnia. The ensuing events following Caesar's assassination in 44 BC added further layers of complexity to the already tumultuous political landscape, with Cleopatra's presence in Rome stirring up intrigue and suspicion. While Calpurnia, Caesar's legitimate wife, wielded considerable influence in Roman politics, Cleopatra's residence in Caesar's villa sparked tensions and fueled conspiracies among the power brokers of the time. The formation of the Second Triumvirate in 43 BC, aimed at restoring stability to the Roman Republic, presented Cleopatra with a delicate balancing act as various factions vied for her support. Negotiating offers from influential figures such as Gaius Cassius Longinus and Publius Cornelius Dolabella, Cleopatra strategically aligned herself with Dolabella, citing internal unrest as justification for rebuffing Cassius. However, Cleopatra's meticulously crafted political manoeuvre faced a significant setback when the legion stationed in Egypt by Caesar to bolster Dolabella's position was intercepted by Cassius in Palestine. This unforeseen turn of events caused Cleopatra's political standing to falter, underscoring the volatile nature of power dynamics in the aftermath of Caesar's demise. In a bold and strategic manoeuvre aimed at securing her position and military objectives, Cleopatra took the daring step of personally leading her fleet to Greece to provide assistance to Octavian and Antony. This decision highlighted her willingness to take risks and actively engage in the political and military affairs of the time. Unfortunately, her plans were foiled by unexpected, severe weather conditions that inflicted significant damage on her ships, resulting in critical delays and missed opportunities for her alliance. Despite facing these formidable challenges, Cleopatra's resilience and adept manoeuvring in the midst of this turbulent period demonstrated her remarkable ability to navigate intricate political landscapes and uphold her influence in the face of adversity. Her determination to persevere in the face of setbacks showcased her strength as a leader and her commitment to achieving her goals despite the obstacles in her path. Following a crucial victory in the Philippines, Antony and Octavian emerged triumphant in their conflict against the treacherous assassins of Caesar, Gus, and Brutus. The defeated assassins, opting for the self-service checkout line, had to come to terms with their loss as the triumvirate decisively divided the Republic among themselves by the end of 42 BC. Octavian assumed control of the west, Antony governed the east, while Lepidus found himself relegated to the periphery of power. In the summer of 41 BC, while stationed in Taurus, Antony summoned Cleopatra to address rumours regarding her alleged support of Gaius. Initially hesitant, Cleopatra eventually relented and agreed to a face-to-face meeting with Antony, a pivotal moment that would shape their future interactions. This rendezvous not only clarified Cleopatra's stance in the Roman civil strife, but also solidified a personal connection between her and Antony, setting the stage for a significant shift in their relationship. Arriving at Dios aboard her majestic vessel, the Thalos, Cleopatra spared no expense in hosting extravagant feasts to impress Antony and showcase her opulent lifestyle and royal splendour. These lavish displays of wealth and grandeur underscored Cleopatra's ability to captivate and influence others through her charisma and extravagance, further solidifying her position as a formidable political figure in the ancient world. Throughout their extensive discussions and negotiations, Cleopatra masterfully distanced herself from any involvement in the civil war, strategically convincing Antony of her unwavering loyalty to Caesar's cause. Her political acumen was on full display as she navigated delicate alliances and secured crucial concessions, such as the removal of her adversaries, including her rebellious sister Arino and the disloyal governor of Cyprus. This adept manoeuvring showcased Cleopatra's skill in consolidating power and solidifying her position within the political landscape of the time. When Antony arrived in Alexandria in November of 41 BC, he was greeted with a warmth and hospitality that stood in stark contrast to the reception received by previous Roman occupiers. This reception was not merely a matter of courtesy, but a reflection of Antony's earlier role in restoring Cleopatra's father, Ptolemy XII, to the throne, highlighting the intertwined histories of the key players involved. The relationship between Cleopatra and Antony deepened during his stay in Egypt, with Cleopatra showcasing her opulent lifestyle and offering Antony a taste of the luxurious indulgence he had experienced aboard her ship at Daros. This display of wealth and extravagance also served as a strategic move by Cleopatra to further entice Antony and solidify their bond. Recognizing the opportunity to align herself closely with a prominent Roman figure, Cleopatra strategically chose Antony as the potential father of her future children, a move that would not only further bind their fates together, but also strengthen her ties to Rome. Leveraging Antony's authority and influence, Cleopatra successfully reclaimed territories historically under Ptolemaic rule, but seized by Rome, such as Cilicia and Cyprus, consolidating her power and expanding her sphere of influence. These territorial gains were likely facilitated by the close relationship and partnership that had developed between Cleopatra and Antony during their time together. However, Antony's sojourn in Egypt was cut short by pressing military obligations in Syria, where his forces faced imminent threats. Undeterred, Cleopatra continued to support Antony's military campaigns by providing him with a formidable fleet of 200 ships, a tangible symbol of their partnership and mutual commitment to each other's causes. Antony's joy at the birth of his twins, Alexander Helios and Cleopatra Selene II, in 40 BC was not only a personal milestone, but also a symbolic triumph, interpreted as a sign he hoped to leave behind. In summary, Cleopatra's deft political manoeuvring, strategic alliances, and calculated decisions during her interactions with Antony not only strengthened her own position of power, but also played a pivotal role in shaping the political landscape of the time. Her relationship with Antony was not only one of personal connection, but also a strategic partnership that yielded significant gains and solidified her status as a formidable player in the complex web of alliances and rivalries that defined the era. Cleopatra, the ambitious Queen of Egypt, had high hopes for her lover Antony to follow in the footsteps of the legendary conqueror Alexander the Great. She envisioned him expanding his conquests by taking on Partho, a formidable opponent. However, Antony's military ambitions faced significant obstacles when his wife, Fulvia, provoked the Persian War while in Rome. Fulvia's actions were driven by a desire to assert Antony's authority over the Roman state and create tension between him and Cleopatra. The conflict instigated by Fulvia ultimately led to her downfall, as well as Antony's realization of the need to reconcile with Octavian, his political rival. This reconciliation culminated in the Treaty of Brundisium, in which Antony was forced to give up control of Western territories and marry Octavian's sister, Octavia. This marriage complicated Antony's relationship with Cleopatra, who remained a powerful figure in his life. In the midst of these political maneuvers, Cleopatra faced a new challenge when Herod, a regional rival seeking refuge from the unrest in Judea, arrived in Egypt. Antony, in a strategic move, appointed Herod as tetrarch and later as king, aligning him with Roman interests and creating further complications for Cleopatra. Despite Antony's marriage to Octavia and the birth of their children, his bond with Cleopatra remained strong. His actions consistently leaned in her favour, even as he established a base in Athens and tried to embrace a life with Octavia. Meanwhile, Herod found himself embroiled in a civil war without the support of Cleopatra or the heavily involved Roman forces. As the triumvirate's term came to an end in early 37 BC, Octavia played a crucial role in orchestrating a meeting at Durham to renew their alliance until 33 BC. This meeting secured military support for Antony's upcoming campaigns, highlighting Octavia's importance as a supportive political partner in the complex web of alliances and rivalries of the time. Following his summons, Antony called upon Cleopatra to meet in Antioch, a crucial gathering to strategize for his ambitious plans in the east and to gather the necessary resources for his forthcoming Parthian campaigns. This meeting marked a pivotal moment as Antony publicly acknowledged his twin children with Cleopatra, Alexander, Helios, and Cleopatra Selene. The bestowal of surnames upon the children, symbolizing their imperial aspirations, underlined the dynastic ambitions of their parents. During their time in Antioch, Antony made grand gestures by granting Cleopatra substantial territories that stretched beyond the Levant, seeking to strengthen his influence in the east by appointing loyal client rulers in key regions. This move not only aimed to solidify his power, but also intended to elevate Cleopatra's stature as a queen in her own right. However, these lavish grants to Cleopatra created discontent among the Roman elite, particularly Octavian, who capitalized on this opportunity to paint Antony as a threat to Roman interests. Antony's increasing focus on Cleopatra, to the detriment of his marriage to Octavia, led to a decline in his reputation back in Rome. In stark contrast, Octavian strategically bolstered his image by showcasing his and his wife, Livia's virtues and dedication to the state, thus garnering support and admiration from the Roman populace. The divergence in behaviour between Antony and Octavian accentuated the negative perceptions surrounding Antony, with rumours and gossip about his relationship with Cleopatra, further tarnishing his standing. The ill-fated decision for Cleopatra to accompany Antony on his campaign in 36 BC proved disastrous, with key allies defecting and significant losses suffered by Antony's forces. This setback not only damaged Antony's military credibility, but also cast a shadow on his judgment and leadership. Seeking refuge in Egypt after the defeat, Antony leaned heavily on Cleopatra to rebuild his army, highlighting her influential role in his affairs. Antony's decision to stay in Alexandria with Cleopatra rather than return to Rome was a pivotal moment that set the stage for a dramatic power struggle with Octavian. This choice not only solidified his bond with Cleopatra, but also intensified the growing animosity between him and Octavian. Antony's public displays of affection towards Cleopatra and his efforts to secure land and privileges for her and their children only added fuel to the fire, exacerbating the tensions between the two sides. As the rivalry between Antony and Octavian escalated, Cleopatra found herself at the centre of a fierce propaganda war. Octavian's propaganda machine painted Cleopatra as a manipulative and seductive foreign queen who had enchanted Antony, drawing parallels to legendary figures such as Helen of Troy. This portrayal aimed to undermine Antony's credibility and portray him as under the spell of a cunning outsider. The verbal sparring between Antony and Octavian reached new heights, with each side accusing the other of deceit and betrayal. Antony criticised Octavian for his thirst for power, while Octavian pointed fingers at Antony for a litany of alleged wrongdoings. Cleopatra's involvement in the political machinations not only heightened the tensions, but also cemented her place as a pivotal player in the unfolding drama. In historical accounts, Cleopatra's influence over Antony often takes on a mythical quality, with tales of her using charms and magic to captivate him. This narrative adds layers of mystique to their relationship, echoing the allure of ancient mythical figures. Cleopatra's role in this tumultuous period not only shaped the course of events, but also ensured her enduring legacy as a figure of fascination and debate in Roman history and beyond. The enduring tales that have been passed down through generations, such as the famous story of Cleopatra proving her opulence and charm by dissolving a pearl in vinegar, serve to enrich the mysterious image of this iconic historical figure. These narratives not only contribute to the multifaceted depiction of Cleopatra, but also suggest a sense of awe and fear that surrounded her persona. However, amidst these legendary accounts, Cleopatra's pragmatic and capable side also comes to light, as demonstrated by her meticulous handling of administrative responsibilities. Historical records, such as the preserved papyrus texts, highlight instances where Cleopatra granted tax exemptions in Egypt, showcasing her active participation in governing her kingdom, while simultaneously managing the complex dynamics of her relationships with the powers in Rome. One of the defining moments in the histories of both Rome and Egypt is the Battle of Actium in 31 BC, which marked a significant turning point in the power struggles of the time. This decisive conflict pitted Octavian against the alliance of Antony and Cleopatra, with the battleground situated at the entrance of the Amazonian Gulf in Greece. The engagement primarily took place at sea, where Octavian, supported by the strategic brilliance of Marcus Vipsanius Agrippa, meticulously organised his forces in anticipation of the impending showdown. Despite the impressive size of Antony and Cleopatra's naval fleet, their troops' lack of discipline and training placed Octavian in a strategically advantageous position, ultimately leading to their defeat in the battle. The Battle of Actium not only reshaped the political landscape of the era, but also underscored the military prowess and strategic acumen of Octavian and his allies. In the midst of the intense battle at Actium, Cleopatra's pivotal role came to the forefront as she took charge of a formidable fleet consisting of 60 ships situated strategically at the rear. This strategic decision by Cleopatra to command from a distance sparked a plethora of debates among historians, delving into the underlying motives behind keeping her removed from the main combat zone. Some historical speculations emerged, suggesting that this tactical positioning was orchestrated to ensure Cleopatra's safety and to establish an escape route for her in case of dire circumstances. As the conflict escalated and tensions mounted, Cleopatra displayed her daring and resourcefulness by executing a bold manoeuvre. She broke through the blockade with the aid of sails specifically designed for enhanced agility during battle. Her swift departure from the heart of the battle, closely followed by Antony, elicited diverse interpretations from historians. While some perceived it as a strategic retreat aimed at self-preservation, others criticised it as an act of desertion, leaving their forces vulnerable and disarrayed. The aftermath of Cleopatra and Antony's retreat had profound repercussions, resonating deeply within their troops and leading to a significant decline in morale, ultimately resulting in widespread defections to the side of Octavian. The decision to withdraw at a critical juncture not only tarnished Cleopatra's reputation, but also left Antony's forces without a clear leader, hastening the collapse of their naval supremacy. The tide of events swiftly turned against Cleopatra and Antony as their erstwhile allies, including monarchs and military commanders, swiftly switched their allegiance to Octavian in the aftermath of their defeat at Actium. This marked a pivotal moment in the trajectory of the Roman-Egyptian coalition, signalling a shift in fortunes and power dynamics in the ancient world. The ramifications of the loss at Actium extended far beyond mere military setbacks for Antony and Cleopatra, encompassing a profound psychological blow to their once formidable alliance. The defeat not only shattered their military prowess, but also cast a long shadow over their legacy, marking a decisive chapter in the annals of ancient history. The decisive defeat at Actium not only signified the culmination of Antony and Cleopatra's challenge to Octavian's authority, but also marked a turning point in Roman history with far-reaching consequences. It effectively cleared the path for Octavian to solidify his power and usher in the era of the Roman Empire, bringing an end to the long-standing Roman Republic. Additionally, the downfall of Antony and Cleopatra carry profound implications for the broader historical context, symbolising the end of the Hellenistic era characterised by the fusion of Greek and Eastern cultures. The tragic fate of Antony and Cleopatra served as a poignant end to their tumultuous reign, with Cleopatra's abrupt demise and Antony's eventual suicide etched into the annals of history. Following their defeat, Octavian's propaganda machinery went into overdrive, meticulously crafting a narrative that portrayed Cleopatra as a malevolent influence and Antony as a victim of fatal attraction. Roman historians, largely influenced by the victor's perspective, emphasise Cleopatra's alleged treachery and Antony's perceived weakness as key factors in their downfall, shaping the historical narrative for generations to come. In the chaotic aftermath of Actium, Cleopatra and Antony found themselves grappling with the rapid disintegration of their power base, forcing them to make strategic decisions to salvage what remained of their authority. Seeking refuge in Ptolemaic Egypt, the once powerful couple made the difficult choice to part ways, with Antony retreating to Cyrene to regroup his forces, while Cleopatra returned to Alexandria to manage the unfolding crisis. Employing shrewd political manoeuvres, Cleopatra endeavoured to spin their defeat at Actium as a calculated move to maintain control and prevent widespread unrest among the populace, showcasing her resilience and political acumen in the face of adversity. In a tragic turn of events, Antony's once loyal ally, the governor of Cyrene, betrayed him by siding with Octavian, his enemy, which not only shattered Antony's trust, but also dealt a significant blow to his military aspirations. This unexpected betrayal added another layer of complexity to an already dire situation, leaving Antony reeling from the harsh reality of his circumstances. The magnitude of the governor's treachery, coupled with various other challenges, pushed Antony into a state of profound despair, prompting him to seek solace in seclusion. He retreated to the island of Pharos, where he constructed a refuge named Timon as a symbolic gesture of his withdrawal from the public eye and the cutthroat political arena that had brought him so much pain. As if Antony's world wasn't already crumbling around him, the counsel he received from Herod to distance himself from Cleopatra for the sake of his own political survival only served to deepen the rift between the embattled lovers. This advice further isolated them as they struggled to navigate the mounting obstacles in their path. Cleopatra, once Antony's staunch ally, began to see him more as a liability than an asset, leading to the gradual disintegration of their once formidable partnership under the weight of their shared misfortunes. Amidst the turmoil of the tumultuous year 31 BC, Cleopatra found herself grappling with the imminent threat posed by Octavian's advancing forces. In a daring bid to secure her and her son Caesarion's safety, she devised a bold escape plan. Initially, she contemplated abdicating her throne in favour of her son and embarking on a perilous journey with her fleet towards the Red Sea, with the possibility of seeking refuge in a distant sanctuary in India. However, her hopes were dashed when Malachus, likely acting under the influence of Octavian's governor of Syria, sabotaged her plans by setting fire to her ships. This devastating setback left Cleopatra stranded in Egypt, with her options dwindling and a looming sense of impending doom closing in around her. In the midst of the crisis that threatened her reign, Cleopatra, known for her strategic acumen, embarked on a series of daring experiments with various poisons. These toxic trials were conducted on captives and trusted attendants, underscoring the lengths to which she was willing to go in her preparations to confront Octavian, the formidable adversary closing in on her kingdom. As the pressure mounted from Octavian's advancing army, Cleopatra found herself compelled to resort to increasingly drastic measures to safeguard the future of her dynasty. Her focus shifted towards grooming Caesarion, her son with Julius Caesar, to ascend to the throne as the sole ruler of Egypt. In her negotiations with Octavian, she made a bold move by suggesting Antony's exile and emphasizing Caesarion's legitimate claim to power. However, Octavian's response was chillingly indifferent, plunging Cleopatra into a state of profound desperation as she grappled with the stark reality of her precarious position. Faced with the imminent threat of Octavian's encroaching forces, Cleopatra made a fateful decision that would seal her tragic fate. Deceiving Antony about her intentions, she sought refuge within the confines of her lavish tomb, a move that ultimately led to his heart-wrenching demise. It is widely speculated that Cleopatra, in her final bid to retain agency over her destiny and evade the ignominy of capture, resorted to poisoning herself, possibly through the use of a sharp implement. Despite Octavian's gesture of allowing Cleopatra and Antony to be interred together, symbolising a veneer of respect towards their rule, his swift and brutal order for the execution of Caesarion following Cleopatra's death underscored his unyielding determination to eliminate any lingering threats to Roman authority. This gruesome act marked the definitive end of the Hellenistic era, ushering in the ascendance of the Roman Empire under Octavian's shrewd leadership. The fall of Cleopatra's dynasty and the tragic fate of her offspring served as a poignant epilogue to an illustrious chapter in history, solidifying Octavian's dominance and reshaping the trajectory of civilizations to come. In the era of Augustus, a significant turning point in Roman history unfolded with the establishment of the Roman province of Egypt. This monumental decision by Augustus marked a pivotal moment that fundamentally reshaped the power dynamics of the time, firmly cementing Egypt under Roman authority. The inclusion of Egypt as a Roman province carried profound implications that reverberated across various spheres, transcending mere governance and administration to encompass cultural and economic spheres as well. Augustus's strategic move to integrate Egypt into the Roman Empire heralded a seismic shift in the geopolitical landscape, consolidating Rome's supremacy and control over the region. By incorporating Egypt into the Roman fold, Augustus effectively initiated a new epoch, characterized by Roman governance and influence over a land teeming with valuable resources, a strategic location, and a rich cultural legacy. This transformative act not only bolstered Rome's grip on the Mediterranean basin, but also instigated sweeping modifications in the way the province was managed and governed. The creation of the Roman province of Egypt during Augustus's reign exemplified his grand vision of expanding and fortifying the Roman Empire, thereby laying a robust foundation for future imperial conquests and endeavours. Through the consolidation of power in Egypt, Augustus demonstrated his ambition to solidify Roman dominance and extend the empire's reach to new frontiers. This strategic manoeuvre not only underscored Augustus's prowess as a shrewd leader, but also underscored his foresight in reshaping the ancient world's political, economic, and cultural landscapes. Ultimately, the establishment of Egypt as a Roman province under Augustus's rule stands as a watershed moment in history, leaving an indelible mark on the evolution of the Roman Empire and its enduring legacy in shaping the ancient world. And that brings us to the end of our tranquil journey through the life of Cleopatra. I hope you enjoyed this gentle exploration of her extraordinary story. If you found this ASMR history session relaxing and informative, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the ASMR History channel for more soothing historical tales. Until next time, may the whispers of the past continue to calm your mind and inspire your dreams.